is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are Ohio.
It's never easy in Minnesota, but the Tribe gutted out a 3-1 win behind Danny Salazar and a rock-steady Cody Allen in the ninth. The Indians' 3-4 hitters provided all the punch, and hopefully that carries over tonight against Phil Hughes. Josh Tomlin will try to right his ship next on Sports Time Ohio. Target Field, downtown Minneapolis, Minnesota, where last night the Indians took the series opener and hopefully kick this road trip off on the right note. And here's Edwin Encarnacion, who last night picked up an RBI. His first since the first game of the year, but he's quietly hit now in 4 straight games. Jose Ramirez has hitting everything in sight. In his last 5 games, he's upped his batting average from $179 to $362. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. Also, last night, the Indians got some production from Michael Brantley, which is nothing new. Arch, since coming back, he's picked up a hit in 8 of the 10 games he has started.
Well, Michael Brantley, in my opinion, one of the best hitters in the game, even though he missed really a full year and he struggled with that shoulder issue that happened right here in this ballpark. He's getting back to being Michael Brantley, and once he gets his legs under him, which shouldn't be too soon, he's going to fit into that lineup beautifully, and I'm going to tell you, this lineup will take off, and they are going to put some runs up on the board.
Here's Terry Francona with our Here Right sounds of the game.
He looks like Brantley, which is a big compliment to him and his work ethic, because, I mean, it's one thing to come back, but you got to still hit Major League pitching, and he really doesn't look like he missed a beat. Now he's starting to get some games in a row. He's starting to get some timing, and it's exciting for us.
Exciting for the ball club, exciting for the fans to see Michael Brantley back in the starting lineup. But the Indians have their hands full tonight because Phil Hughes is on the hill for Minnesota. He's off to a great start. Hopefully Josh Tomlin gets things turned around for Cleveland. We'll be back with the first pitch. We'll check in with Alan Jensen, and we'll hear from Andre Knott all straight ahead.
There's a big 2-out knock.
Edwin Encarnacion comes through, and it is gone for Michael Brantley. His second home run of the year, making a 3-1 Cleveland lead.
Good pitch.
Got him with a beautiful pitch. Oh, low cheddar. And Cleveland takes the series opener by a final score of 3-1. Well, back here at Target Field in Minneapolis, it will be a chilly night once again as the Indians try to conquer the Twins for the second night in a row. And it looked like pretty good formula last night. Long ball from Michael Brantley, the veterans driving the boat, so to speak, with the offense. And as we go downstairs to Andre Knott, you never know when the turning point of a season is going to happen or what it is that causes it, but hopefully they can start to come together as a team.
Yes, every team, whether good or bad, has an identity. As Tino Francona told me earlier, he goes, I've coached some teams that have had some bad identities, and he goes, and it's bad from day one all the way through. That's not what the Indians want to be, and that's not who they are. They're not the team from last year either. And right now, early in this season, they're trying to figure out exactly who and what their identity will be in 2017.
But I think it's just going to be a matter of continue to play the game, continue to go through ups and downs, continue to understand that we're going to be next to each other. We're going to grind this season together. As soon as we realize that, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. I think right now we love each other. We're having fun. We're enjoying each other. But it's not the same. It's never the same at the beginning of the season. It's always, everybody's trying to find themselves, trying to find their roles.
I'd say it's got to come organically or naturally, so to speak. And, spring training is a good time for everybody to get to know each other. But once the season starts, it's a completely different animal. And, now we've gone through, the ups and downs together the last year and a half. So I don't think anybody's going to let, a little down get in between anybody in here. And that's what's so great about this clubhouse is no matter what, we all have each other's backs. And that's what's so unique about this team and, probably different than a lot of other teams.
Every season has its own journey. Every season is truly its own novel. And this story is just starting to unfold. Let's take a look at the Indians starting lineup tonight under Terry Francona. It is brought to you by Progressive. Carlos Santana once again will lead it off, followed by Francisco Lindor. Michael Brantley hitting third. Edwin Encarnacion bats cleanup. Jose Ramirez fifth. Lonnie Chisenhall in the sixth spot. Yandy Diaz, Abraham Almonte, and Roberto Perez behind the plate tonight, batting ninth.
Our Northern Ohio Honda starting pitcher is going to be Phil Hughes. He only pitched a half a year last year because he had surgery. That thoracic outlet syndrome is what he had. Had that taken care of. He is back and off to a pretty good start. He won his first 2 starts, but he did walk 3 hitters in his last start, and this guy is like Josh Tomlin. Normally, he doesn't walk anybody.
Phil Hughes, like Michael Brantley, would just like to turn the page and forget about last year. In addition to the thoracic outlet syndrome, he also was hit by a line drive and fractured his leg, so it was just a miserable season for him all the way around. But he's off to a good start here in 2017, and he's a big reason why the Twins' pitching staff has been so much better here in the early going. Carlos Santana pops the second pitch of the game straight up, and Joe Mauer puts it away easily for out number 1.
Let's set the Twins defense for you behind Hughes. Brought to you by Wendy's. It looks like this. Rosario in left. Buxton gets the start in center field today, and Kepler moves back over to right. Sano is at third, Polanco at short, Dozier at second, Mauer at first, Castro doing the catching.
Andy Fletcher has the plate tonight. Alan Porter, Paul Nart, and Hunter Wendelstedt on the bases. Francisco Lindor with a hit now in 11 consecutive games. Takes a look, it's inside for ball 1. Phil Hughes only made 11 starts last year, and his ERA was almost 6. In those 11 starts, told you about the injury problems he had. You look at the Twins pitching staff as a whole, they were worst in the American League with a collective ERA of 5.08. Well, 2 weeks into this year, they're leading the American League with an ERA of 2.5. Swing and a miss, 2-1. Now, will that last? Do they have the horses to make that stand up?
We'll see.
Probably not.
Hughes not throwing as hard. You know, he used to throw probably 92, 93. He's 88 to 90 now. He used to be cutter heavy.
Lindor bangs a single into right field, and his hitting streak continues. And the thing about his hitting streak is how many times he's picked up multiple hits. That's 19 hits now in his 12-game tear. Well, there have been years past where Phil Hughes has been vulnerable to the long ball. Can the Indians cash in there? They have been a very homer-heavy team in terms of their offense.
Yeah.
And Josh Tomlin, location, location, location.
Yeah, you talk about Hughes. He gave up 2 home runs in his last start. He pitched against the Tigers, but his offense helped him out. They had a good day.
Michael Brantley whacked a home run over the 23-foot wall in right center field last night. That homer gives Brantley a hit in 4 straight games. Hughes deals, and Brantley rockets one to right field. That'll get down and go to the wall. And it kind of kicked up against the lip, and they're going to get it in quickly, though, so Lindor has to stop at third, but Michael Brantley has him set up here right out of the gate.
Well, he tried to throw that cutter inside, and look at how quick the hands of Michael Brantley are, and it was elevated. There you'll see that thing didn't cut. It stayed right there in the heart of the plate. Brantley took advantage of it, so the Indians in business, second and third with 1 out and a chance to get on the board for Encarnacion, who had a hit and an RBI in yesterday's ball game.
That was Eddie's first RBI since his home run in the first game of the year.
Yeah, I know it. He's scuffled when you think about it. He's 1 for 12 with runners in scoring position. But it was a 2 out, and here comes the base hit. That gave the second run in the inning. And if you remember, the inning before Salazar got out after he allowed 1 run, he had first and third and nobody out, and he got out of that inning.
That was our great clip of the game from last night. Encarnacion lays off the breaking ball low and away, and he's going to continue to see a steady diet of those pitches until he shows that he'll lay off and not chase. That is what he has been very vulnerable to here in the early going.
See, that last pitch, Hughes is starting to throw a lot like James Shields. Remember, we see him go to the curveball. He's coming off the surgery.
Back out of play.
He doesn't throw as hard. That was his fastball, his 4-seam fastball at 90. And that cut fastball is about 87-ish or whatever, but that's really the changeup, and that curveball is what he's going to now. But he's around the plate, so you have to be ready. He's got very good control, a lot like Josh Tomlin.
Encarnacion down on the count. And the pitch is inside. 2-2.
It's that little change up there. What he does, I think he splits his fingers. And you can see that ball go down.
Now the 2-2. Ripped diving stop by the shortstop, who gets up and throws, and Encarnacion is retired on a fantastic play made by Jorge Polanco. But the Indians will take the lead as Lindor comes home from third. 1-0 Indians. Encarnacion's third RBI of the year, but more importantly, his second in as many games.
That's a nice play by Polanco, man. He comes up and he just wanted to get rid of it quickly on target. And he bounced it across the infield to get the out, but Lindor off and running, scores the Indians' first run, and then they take the lead. Good play.
And a man still in scoring position for Jose Ramirez.
Even if that ball goes through, Brantley would not have scored, but you would have had first and third.
Called a strike. As hot as Lindor has been, and as well as Brantley's swing of the bat, Ramirez hotter than anybody right now. 12 hits in his last 19 at bats. Shoots one out of play. And as I mentioned at the top of our telecast, that's all happened in the last 5 games. And Tito told me yesterday, you know, everybody was asking me what's wrong with Jose Ramirez. All it took was a couple of big games and he got on a roll.
That's what happens when you're so early in the season, man. You get on a roll and have a good 3, 4, or 5 games, and man, you're back in the driver's seat.
And because Ramirez has such a fairly low maintenance swing, it's almost as if it enables him to avoid those prolonged slumps, because he can get back to basics maybe easier than say a guy with a big long swing.
He avoids the big swing, the long swing. He stays with a short, quick bat, and he never tries to hit home runs. That's what makes him so good. It's a controlled swing.
And with 2 outs and 2 strikes, you think you got him right where you want him. He can be at his most dangerous now. Out of play.
Well, he's going to make you work to get him out in every at bat, like much of this Indians lineup. But if you're going to get him out or strike him out, you're really going to have to work hard.
Michael Brantley, pretty good wheels at second base. Figures to score on a hit that gets to the outfield. Out of play. This was a successful formula for Cleveland a year ago, scoring early. Getting that first run on the board, as simple as it may sound. And as often as I've tried to maybe understate that and downplay it, I have talked to so many people in baseball, coaches, players, managers, who all say, hey, you get the first one, they got to get 2 to beat you.
2 to beat you.
I think that's the competitive nature of the game, and just how difficult it can be to score at times. You get the first one on the board, and it definitely gives you maybe either it's a sense of self-confidence, a sense of you don't have to press as much.
Well, a lot of times it lets that pitcher relax a little bit to where, you know, he doesn't have to be perfect. And then you can add on. Look at that. That's 4 straight foul balls. And I mean, this one was an emergency swing just to stay alive. You just flick it, and the next thing you know, that's a great pitch. But he stays alive.
Reminiscent of that great at bat that Ian Kinsler had in Cleveland, where he fouled off 4 or 5 in a row,
right,
and then wound up getting the base hit.
Well, this is the toughest hit to get the 2-out hit. That's what makes Ramirez so tough with runners in scoring position and 2 outs.
High fly
just
ball.
Missed it.
Back is Kepler. On to the warning track, misplays the ball. Scoring is Brantley. Into second is Jose Ramirez. A gift run for Cleveland.
How many times do you see that? Camped under it, routine fly ball, and it just, I don't know if he closed his glove too early, but that's embarrassing when you're an outfielder, but the Indians keep it going. There's 2 outs, plenty of time. He's camped under it, hits him on the heel of the glove, and falls out. Oh boy. That's why they say, kids, catch it 2 hands. Right in the heel. That's, you want to dig a hole and jump in it when you're out there.
Interesting, though, in that you called it right away. He just popped under it a little bit, and that's still carried to the middle of the warning track, and it's not like there's a big breeze or anything blowing tonight. Lonnie Chisenhall fouls one back. I just wonder if maybe the carry kind of fooled Kepler a little bit.
No, it's just lack of concentration. That's all it is. There's no excuse. It's embarrassing. It happens to everybody at some point in time in this game.
It's an error on Kepler, so no run batted in for Ramirez.
It's a gift run, and the Indians will take it.
Now Lonnie Chisenhall would love to make that error really hurt. Drive in another one here. Good elevated fastball, and the count 0-2. Lonnie strokes that one down the right side, way out in front of it. The other thing about an error like that is, may seem like a little thing, but it's the extra pitches that it causes your starter to have to make. Maybe that's the difference in him going that extra inning into a game. So now you more wear and tear on the bullpen. It is a domino effect sometimes.
How many times do you see it? That's such a rarity.
Very rare.
I mean, that's why people are going to say, and it makes you sound old school, that's why you catch it with two hands in case something like that. But that's routine. You should be able to catch that ball with your eyes closed.
What would you guess? Maybe 4 times a year, maybe we see that happen? I mean, I'm talking a routine pop-up.
Not that easy. If you see that once every couple of years, you're more so from the infielders. That's unbelievable with the outfielders doing that.
Lonnie strokes one into right field, a base hit. Coming around third, Ramirez will try to score. Kepler's throw, not nearly in time. Hosey scores standing, and Lonnie makes that error hurt even more. 3-0 Cleveland.
What do good teams do when you take advantage or you get an extra out in an inning? Little things that add on. So now Lonnie continues it. He picked this ball up off the ground, Matt.
Wow,
look at that.
Look at that.
That thing was about 4 inches off the ground, and he was able to find the hole between first and second. And then watch, he doesn't get it out of the glove. He's not having a good first inning. Kepler is not. The Indians get another one. It's 3-0, and he's not out of it yet.
I don't know if we'd have the ability to freeze frame the contact when Lonnie made with that ball. It almost looked like it was down at the base of that little shin guard he wears.
I'm sure
Just
it was. It
barely
was low.
above his ankle. Now Yandy Diaz. He's collected a hit in 5 straight games. And a swing and a miss. All right, watch this. Watch where the ball contacts the bat. Look where it is with relationship.
Looks like it's going to bounce.
It sure does. Oh man. You were right, Arch. That's about 4, maybe 5 inches.
I'm telling you,
that's
like a little 5-iron shot.
You and Murph like to tee it high, so this is right where you guys tee it up.
Look at that, my goodness.
It just barely crosses the bottom of his shin
But look where his
guard.
head is at. His head is right down, looking at the baseball. It stayed behind the ball, and it found a hole between first and second.
Fouled right back. I'd love to know what it is, if it's just anatomically the way you're all put together, why some guys are just really good at going down and hitting it, and some guys are better the high fastball. Like you were a good high fastball hitter.
For left-handed, most left-handers like the ball down. It's their natural little swing with the uppercut.
The 1-2. Yandy shoots it out of play. This will be the 9th pitch Hughes has made since the error that would have ended the inning. So it's literally cost him almost another inning of work. Right field. Kepler again. Squeezes it this time. And a mock cheer. The Indians take advantage of the miscue. They pounce for 3 here in the first. And now the Twins are coming to bat. Yandy Diaz evidently had the wrong hat on.
Well, it doesn't take long, does it? He's got the C. Well,
he's looking around like, uh-oh.
Yeah, there's the Chief. They got today. We were playing with Chief on the cap, Yandy. I think Andre stole his cap and had it down there in the trenches. Yandre had it.
Yandre took it.
What are you laughing?
Why you got to take a man's hat, Yandre?
Yandre, they're calling me out on Twitter. Stop.
Brian Dozier leads off for the Twins, and Josh Tomlin with a fastball strike outside corner. Stays out there, but just off the plate. Brian Dozier was hitless last night. That's rare. He's picked up a hit in 13 of his last 14 games against the Indians. And that's low and away, 2 balls and a strike.
Well, these 3 runs in the first have to make Josh Tomlin feel good about himself going out there. Now he can go out and just try and establish his strike zone. His last outing was the first pitch of the ball game that they hit out of the ballpark. Tim Anderson, they put a 5 spot on the board, and boy, it was over with in a hurry.
Reached for it. Ramirez charging in quickly. Backhand throw in the dirt, and Santana can't dig it out. They catch a break when it kicks. Oh, I guess it went inside the railing, and they'll give him second base.
Yeah, they're pointing to second. Well, he was just out in front and topped it and hit it. It changed up on the defense. Ramirez trying to make the backhanded play. And it went off of Santana and then ricocheted. Yeah, he was telling him it had some spin on it. So it'll be a hit and an error, I'm sure.
That's only the 4th error by the Indians defense this year.
Yeah, they were second in the league.
One of those errors was a throwing miscue by pitcher Danny Salazar. Lindor, now Ramirez, and Yan Gomes charged with the others. But defensively, they've played very well.
They have.
Joe Mauer has a 10-game hitting streak against the Indians. And he was really not the guy you wanted to see coming to the plate last night with the bases loaded and 2 down, game on the line. But Cody Allen able to get him hit a fly ball harmlessly to center field to end the game. After that, Paul Molitor said, well, just another typical game against Cleveland. Line to center, base hit. Chisenhall charges hard. He'll unload it in a hurry, and the runner has to hold at third.
Yeah,
but the Twins come out swinging, first and third, nobody out.
Back come the Twins, and this was a mistake. He left it middle of the plate, and Mauer, the way he stays out of baseball, he hit it exactly where it was pitched. He's still yet to have an extra base hit this year. Well, let's take a look at Josh Tomlin's numbers, courtesy of Northern Ohio Honda. Making his third start. Forget the ERA. He's given up a lot of hits. 15 hits in his 6 1/3 innings, and now 17 if you add the 2 here in this inning. So he is trying to reel in the command and keep the ball out of the middle of the plate is what he's trying to do and what he's been working on.
There's Miguel Sano. Big long swing, comes up empty. He said after the game last night he was looking for a fastball from Cody Allen, but he never got one that he could really handle.
And he said, I swear to God, I was going to hit that curveball. He was,
if he hung it.
If he hung it, I was going to hit that curveball out of the ballpark. But you know, this is where Josh wants him to swing like that, the big long swing. Easier to go and try and attack that.
Hung that curveball, but it backed up. And all he does is pop it harmlessly foul out of play.
About a mile in the air.
It's 0-2.
Watch this one. They want it away. Uh-oh. Oh. That was high and deep and foul. He'd be happy to take a double play ball right here.
Mauer was standing on the bag when Tomlin threw over. That's not all that rare of an occurrence because Josh cannot see the runner. The way he comes to the set position, a lot of times he just throws over there.
Predetermined.
Yeah, he has no idea if the runner's on the base or not. Boy, good pitch.
It was a good pitch, but that goes to show you how Sano's patience has been a little bit different this year. Seems like he's taken pitches he used to swing at last year, maybe expanding his strike zone, feeling like he had to hit, and he's paid to hit and drive in runs.
Low and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Sano's got a little more than 100 career at-bats against the Indians. Just a 207 career mark. Got him. Tomlin gets his first strikeout, 1 down here in the first inning.
Nice little cutter there by Josh. Started on the outside edge, and just watch it leave that strike zone. That's the perfect pitch, isn't it? Because even if he doesn't swing, it's too close, I think, to take.
Well, as you said, look how long that pitch really stayed on line to be a strike. So if you're a hitter, I can't let that just go by.
That's too good. You had to swing at that pitch.
Boy, Max Kepler has to be steaming under that helmet of his after the error he committed. Allowed the Indians to have a big inning right out of the gate.
Well, right now in the plus-minus category, he's -2. By rights, it should be a 1-0 ball game, but he can atone for himself right here in this at-bat, keeping it going, trying to get a base hit. Lindor right behind second base.
Big curveball, and I guess it's just a bit outside. Dangerous territory for Tomlin because look at the numbers for Kepler this year, and in addition to that, in 15 games against the Indians, he's belted 6 home runs.
Well, remember the series he had back at Cleveland? Actually, the Twins had. They had the best series I've ever seen any offense have against the Indians last year.
to left.
That'll get home one.
Brantley will make the catch, tagging is Dozier. He'll come home. Twins get a run back. It's 3-1 Cleveland, and there are 2 down in the inning as Kepler picks up his 7th RBI on the year. Mauer holds at first, and we'll take a look at the rest of Minnesota's starting lineup, brought to you by Hankook Tires. Robbie Grossman due up now. And then you've got Eddie Rosario, who also has, like Max Kepler, a half-dozen homers against the Indians. Byron Buxton back in the lineup despite his struggles offensively. Pitch outside, ball 1 to Grossman. Switch hitting DH. 2 for 3 last night with a walk.
He's drawn a walk in 6 straight games, as a matter of fact. And has reached base safely in 10 of the last 11 via hit or a walk. Leads baseball and on-base percentage. He's really off to a great start.
I wonder if that's just sort of a byproduct of being in that Astros system at one time. They were really big proponents on the on-base percentage.
Yeah.
You know, get yourself aboard.
Well, he's found a way to inch it into this lineup and into the middle part of it, mind you.
And a strike is called.
This the guy was in the Indian spring training last year. The Twins picked him up, what, in May of last year? And he stayed around, and he's worked his way in opening day roster and has made an impact on this team.
Right field, fair ball. Almonte cannot cut it off. Interesting here. Mauer's going to be waved around, and he's going to score easily. I don't know what happened to Almonte, but that should not happen. And the Twins have cut it to 1 run.
We lost track of him. He went into the corner. I don't know if he bobbled it or what happened to it down there. But Grossman gets a double with 2 outs, and they cut the lead. We'll see the pitch by Tomlin, another breaking ball at middle third of the plate, and let's see what happens.
Well, I don't know that the double clutch really mattered.
Well,
but
here's the problem right now. He looked to second base. That's an automatic double when it goes off the bat. With a man on first, 2 outs, you think home plate. Where was the relay designed? It's designed to come home. He had no business looking at second base.
Smash to second. Ramirez rips the short hop and throws him out. Twins get 2 right back. 1-run game after an inning.
Down in the corner, Almonte, his first thought, he's got to know before that ball's hit. Anytime 2 outs, a guy on first base, you're going home with the ball. They're lined up home. He's looking at second base. He's got to pick that up and go to his cutoff and relay men right there. And it's way too late after you look at second. He's got to know that before it happened, and obviously he didn't. He was looking for second base. So that was a mistake on him.
Well, he'll be leading off here in the second inning. So the errors have pretty much canceled each other out here after an inning. Twins got 2 back. Indians scored 3. As you said, it should have been a 1-0 game. And so the Indians' run is just a run after an inning now. Abraham Almonte 0 for 3 last night. He was hit by a pitch.
Barely. We had to review it, didn't we?
Yeah, a lot of the fans on Twitter really appreciated your Sergeant Hulka reference, too.
Get out of here.
They really liked the Stripes
they
reference.
They picked it up, huh?
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I just watched that movie last week. It was awesome. I think that's why it was in my subconscious.
Now, if you can figure out a way to work in Aunt Jemima treatment somehow, I don't know. It might be. Now the line in the 1-2 coming from Hughes. And it's a little high, 2-2.
Well, he's wearing those light shoes, and last night it was hard to tell if that ball hit off the toe, but we did see it move.
It's sort of
was
redirected.
On the back foot. Yeah. And it couldn't have hurt because it barely moved. Oh, good for him. He didn't get timeout.
Full count.
He had to stay in that box. He called it a little too late. He started his windup, and the umpire doesn't have to give you that. Watch, he says timeout, timeout. And he did it well. Get back in the box and stay there because he tried to call it a little too late.
Here's the payoff, and he strikes him out. Ran it inside.
Well, MLB TV is the #1 live streaming sports service. Is back and better than ever. Watch every out-of-market game live at home or in the office or on the go for just $19.99. Visit MLB.tv for the details.
Roberto Perez getting the start tonight behind the plate. By the way, Yan Gomes, who started last night, was he got some good news before tonight's game. Last night there was an error charged to third baseman, I think it was Eduardo Escobar, on a ground ball that Gomes hit in the 4th inning. We were shocked that was the, well, I shouldn't say we were shocked.
Well, we had a hit down on our card.
We were really surprised, though, that the scorer made that decision. He overturned his own decision after taking a long second look at it. So,
yeah, they didn't realize it until this morning. And you have 24 hours to make your change, so it's not reflected in the numbers today.
The 1-1. Good curveball, drops in.
It's about 76 miles an hour, that curveball, where he really slows it down. Very effective pitch.
In the air to center. Buxton makes the catch. This was the play I was referring to last night. Yan Gomes with a ground ball between third and short. The third baseman had to go to his left, reach out for it. Never came up with the ball at all. And yet somehow the official score ruled that an error and not a hit for Gomes.
Well,
but changed his mind after reviewing it.
That's good. They got it right.
Top of the order, here is Carlos Santana.
Santana, a guy that's always liked hitting in this ballpark. 12 career homers, which is tied with Miguel Cabrera for second, only behind Jose Bautista with 14.
The only place that Santana's hit more home runs in his career, other than Progressive Field, his home park, is Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, where he's hit 14 home runs in his career. A little high. And interestingly enough, 22 career homers against the Twins, 23 against Kansas City pitching. So he likes the Royals just a little better. We're only in the second inning. Cleveland up 3-2 already. Three-man shift to the right side of the infield. We don't have time to get into it right now, especially with 2 outs, but something I'd like to revisit later in the game. You saw a really fascinating study earlier today on the defensive shifts and the impact, or maybe lack of impact, it's really had on batting average over the last few years.
4 years.
Swing and a miss. Down goes Santana. Phil Hughes bounces back, sets him down 1-2-3. Can Josh Tomlin do the same and restore some order? We'll find out next. Up here in the bottom half of inning number 2, with Cleveland leading it by a run. Jorge Polanco, 0 for 2 last night, did draw a couple of walks. But normally when Josh Tomlin's on the mound, you don't see even a couple of walks. He's walked 2, though, in his first 2 starts so far this year. to Santana, who will take it himself at first. 1 away.
All right, let's set that Tribe defense now. We have an opportunity. Brought to you by Jeep. Brantley in left, Chisenhall in center, Almonte in right, Diaz at third, Lindor at short, Ramirez is at second, Santana at first, Perez doing the catching.
Eddie Rosario, 2 for 4 last night, drove in a run. And a swing and a miss.
Rosario has always liked to hit Indians pitching as well. 19 of his last 20 games he has hit against the Indians at a .342 clip.
High.
Isn't this the guy that against Josh Tomlin in this ballpark a couple of years ago, about an 0-2 eye-high fastball hit went out to right field?
I think it was.
In there. I'm thinking so. I'm thinking so.
He grounds this one to Lindor, and Frankie with a perfect throw, 2 down.
Okay, get him to put it in play and let that defense go to work.
Well, here's Byron Buxton, and this is one of those guys that the Twins player development staff, they are reluctant to just get frustrated and give up on a talent like this. But there are growing pains. Look, we've been through it with Cleveland. We've seen it on a number of different players. You know, you look up and you think 4 for 43. Oh, man.
And 23 strikeouts.
23 strikeouts. But the talent is there. It's just a question of, you know, at what point, especially with a young player, are you doing potential damage by letting him to continue to struggle at the major league level? Paul Molitor doesn't feel that's the case, because after sitting him last night, he's got him right back in the lineup today. Tomlin breezes through the second, 3-2 Tribe after 2. Chopped onion, a little sauteed onion with your brat.
I think that's right below us here.
Sausage.
You can smell it.
Francisco Lindor going to lead off the third for Cleveland. Our stat of the game brought to you by Buick. Now a 12-game hit streak for the Indian shortstop, who also is leading shortstops in hits as well.
Yeah, career high. That's, well, he hasn't been here that long, but he was the master of the 3-hit game last year, 23 3-hit games. And he's one of those greedy guys. When he gets one, he likes to get 2, then 3. He keeps it going.
Slowly chopped. And Polanco will flip it over, 1 away. Oh, he mentioned Byron Buxton. who's the very talented center fielder here in Minnesota. And, he didn't play yesterday, and there was some talk, what are they going to do? Are they going to send him back down because he's gotten off to such a slow start? But you have to be patient with young players, and sometimes you have to let them fail. But at what point maybe are you doing damage to allowing a guy continue to fail here at the major league level? And Andre Knott reports that the Twins have gone to great lengths to make sure that does not happen.
Yeah, they've also gone to Torrey Hunter, who helped him talk to him last year. Torrey's working for the team in a little bit of a way, and Paul Molitor went to him last year right before September, and he kind of asked, how do we help this kid get to the next step? And Torrey Hunter says, look, you're going to fail up here. And he thinks the problem was he had never gone through failure as a ball player, and the first time it happened was on the big league level. So they think, let him play through this, let him go through this, and his talent will prevail at some point in time. And I think that's why you see him in the lineup, because Torrey Hunter and a couple other veterans have said, let this kid play through this rather than send him back to AAA.
I think it's also great for a guy like Buxton, as you watch Brantley try to fight and stay alive here, fouls one off, is that his manager was a great hitter. Now, sometimes that can be more of a curse than it is a blessing for a player. Well, Paul Molitor's the kind of guy that knows, the talent is there, and he knows exactly what Buxton's doing wrong. And it's not such a fundamental mechanical flaw that we need to start all over again. And he said it's pretty simple.
Trying to pull everything.
Exactly. And so instead of barreling the ball up, he's mishitting it just off the end of the bat. He hit one almost to the wall the other day, but he said he didn't barrel it. He hit it off the end of the bat. And so he's not that far away, I think, is what they're saying.
The other thing they said was his September was so good last year after they kind of relaxed him and went through this, that they've seen the talent here. You know what I mean? It's not like it's just happened in the minors. They've seen him do it on this level.
Brantley shoots one right center field. Buxton can't get to it, but he will cut it off and hold Michael to a one-out single, and Brantley is now 2 for 2.
Yeah, Michael muscled that one. He's got to be the type of kid, too, that you got to let him. You have to know his personality, where it's not going to tear him up inside if he doesn't get a base hit. Look, if he's coachable, he'll learn. You make adjustments. He proved in September he had an unbelievable September. The guy can fly. He can run. He can steal bases. He can play center field. You got to leave him in there. You got to give him a chance.
Edwin Encarnacion knows all too well the struggles that Buxton is going through, because even a veteran player of the caliber of Encarnacion, you can still go through those same peaks and valleys at the plate. And Encarnacion with a big rip, it comes up empty. The question with a slump, Arch, is, do you look at, okay, he's picked up a hit in 4 straight games. Is that a sign that he's coming out of it?
Yeah.
Or is it more of, are you watching at bat to at bat? What is he doing with his swing that's more important?
I mean, he's still, I think trying to get a little greedy. Slumps take a long time. I've never been a home run hitter, so I wouldn't know. I just think that everything he's trying to do is hit homers, and get going. Take your base hits, take your walks, and you gradually work your way out of this. You don't swing the bat and hit a grand slam every time up.
Well, Tito talked earlier about the problems Edwin's going on. He says he's not picking up pitches very well. When he's looking for fastballs, he's getting curveballs.
Right.
When he's getting curves. He says the last 2 or 3 days he feels like he's recognizing pitches better, and he thinks that will be the beginning of getting out of this.
Okay.
Lays off, down low, 2-2.
Well, usually when a normal hitter does that, you tell him to start and work your way around the field. So start staying on the baseball, and as right-handers, take that base hit to right field. And once you prove you'll take that pitch to the other way, they'll start moving the ball around. You can hit it to center and then work your way to left.
Tied him up, strikes him out. Third K for Phil Hughes, 2 down in the inning.
Hughes has got great control, so and that's not even a strike. So he helped him out. He got himself out in that at bat. He loves to see guys come up and swing big, because he can put the ball where he wants to.
a strike is called.
This was a good battle between these two in at-bat number 1, where the error really was the difference in the inning. Hughes should have been out of that inning, giving up 1 run after the good battle between Ramirez. Kepler dropped it. Chisnall got a base hit after that, and it was a 3-run inning.
Jose Ramirez sends a high drive, deep right center. Grossman looking up. It is gone to Souvenir City. Jose Ramirez, 4th home run of the year, and that one, like the homer Brantley hit last night, just did clear the 23-foot wall in right center field.
He didn't miss that one. He missed it the first time, but he didn't this time. He was ready, and there's another 2-pointer, so Ramirez stays red hot. Let's see, the cutter coming inside. Boy, down and in, 87 miles per hour on that cut fastball, but Jose got the barrel to the ball, and nice job. Third home run Hughes has allowed. 2 in his last start, 1 here. Indians make it 5-2.
You hear us talk about it quite often, that the difference between a fly ball out and a home run is just maybe a quarter of an inch on the barrel of the bat.
Not much.
And
not
I think those 2 balls that Ramirez has hit tonight are a perfect illustration of that. The first one, he just missed it. Hit it to the warning track. But that one, maybe just a quarter of an inch better, on the more square on the barrel, and it easily sails out of here. And there's a smash to second, but Dozier stays with it, throws him out, inning over. Jose Ramirez has collected a hit in 6 straight, and this one clears the fence. The Indians put on 2 more. Into 1, putting the Indians up by 3. And our reminder to stay tuned later in the game for Miller Time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Ryan Dozier will lead off for the Twins here in the 3rd inning. Josh Tomlin delivers, and it's fouled right back. You know, Dozier, you look at him, and like Jose Ramirez, doesn't profile as a guy just on the eye test as a home run hitter, a big power hitter, but you realize since the All-Star break last year, he's hit 30 home runs.
Yeah, what a tear he got on. He's hit over 40 last year, which was amazing.
Going to bring up Joe Mauer, who singled and scored in the Twins' 2-run first. Now the 0-1 and just missed in off the plate. Left field off the end of the bat. Brantley, 2 down.
Well, great seats remain for the Tribe's second homestand as we return home. On Tuesday, we'll face a couple of West Coast teams, the Astros, the Mariners. Grab a $13 district ticket or a $10 KeyBank Kids ticket. They're online only. Just go to Indians.com for the information.
I wanted to mention something to you because I know how much you love the MLB network, and when we're on the road, we watch a lot of it. And I was watching a show today, and I'm not picking on the guy at all. Don't misunderstand this. They have a guy on there who gives you tips if you're a fantasy player on like who you should play and who you should avoid.
Oh, too late.
So no grounds out. To be continued. The Twins as we go to the 4th inning. So I was saying before we went to break, MLB Network, they got a guy comes on, and again, I'm not picking on him because he gives you tips. You know, here's guys who are hot, play these guys, and stay away from these guys because they have bad matchups. And look, he's got to go out and make these decisions and you know, give you tips. That's not an easy thing to do. Baseball's got to be one of the hardest games to predict what you think is going to happen.
Yeah. But
today I just happened to note that they said, what about Joey Votto? He said, well, I was going to put Votto out there as a guy to definitely play, but I thought he was going to be pitching. Ubaldo Jimenez was going to start for Baltimore, and they're starting Kevin Gausman. Tougher matchup. Don't play Votto. He's 2 for 2. He's hit a home run. He's scored 2 runs. He's driven in 2 already. And he said, if you've got any Baltimore Orioles, play them all because Bronson Arroyo's pitching for Cincinnati, and it's a bad matchup. He's pitching into the 4th. He's given up 1 run. He's given up just a couple of hits. That's the thing. Baseball is so doggone hard to try and predict what's going to happen.
Yes, it is.
Diaz hit one on the screws, but lines out. Just like the other day in Cleveland, we had Kluber and Verlander. We thought,
but the game 13-6. Well, it all revolves around the pitchers too. That's who you're going to look at. Okay, this guy's hot, so you better not. Guys aren't going to get many hits, so I won't play them. And next thing you know, they knock them out in the 3rd. That's when the baseball gods bite you, when you think you know what you're doing.
Oh, no doubt about it.
They humble you in a minute. As a player, as a fan.
Almonte strokes one right field. That heads to the wall. Abe's rolling for second, and he goes in standing with a one-out double.
Nice swing by Almonte there. Hustling out of the batter's box, gets himself into scoring position. It's the 6th hit. They want it upstairs. They want to run that fastball. It looked like a four-seamer to me, but it had too much of the plate, and Abe put a good swing on it. He hustles out of the box. Second double for the Indians tonight.
Roberto Perez fly to center in the 2nd inning. Tribe on top 5-2. Man, there's a smash in the left. Coming around third, Almonte gets a stop sign. Rosario got it off quickly. 1st and 3rd with one out here in the 4th inning. That marks the 2nd time tonight the Indians have had back-to-back hits in an inning.
Well, Perez was 5 for 10 coming off of Hughes coming into this game, so 1 for 2. Didn't hesitate, jumped on that first pitch and goes 1st to 3rd now, and back to the top of the lineup for the 3rd time.
Injury report brought to you by Elk & Elk. The attorneys at Elk & Elk in Glenn Perkins, Trevor May, Ryan O'Rourke. Host of guys on the DL for Minnesota. By the way, that guy from MLB Network, he also said, tough matchup tonight for Evan Longoria. Don't play him. He's 0 for 3 against Michael Fulmer of the Tigers.
Okay, well, a lot of guys are 0 for 3 against him.
Yeah, that's right. But Tampa has the lead 3-1 in that game. Miguel Cabrera, the day off, must have done him so good. He homered his first time up for Detroit, but that's their only run. That game, by the way, is in the 7th inning down at St. Pete. Carlos Santana 0 for 2. A little low. Craig Breslow, one-time Cleveland Indian, is up in the Minnesota pen, left-hander. Santana smokes it into right field. That's going to bring home Almonte. And stopping at second base is Roberto Perez. And 3 straight line drive hits for the Indians here in this 4th inning.
Yeah, it won't be long for Hughes.
And in fact, that's it.
Yeah. They cannot afford, the way they're swinging the bat, to get farther behind. And they put some really good swings on Phil Hughes tonight. And it's 3 straight hits that'll knock him out of the ball game. A total of 8 he has given up. 6 runs as well, and out comes Paul Molitor to take the baseball, and his night is over.
Yeah, Phil Hughes had gotten off to a great start for Minnesota. A lot of people here pointing to his start as to why the Twins have been pitching so well. But the Indians knock him around here tonight. He's out, and the Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen for left-hander Craig Breslow has been made. We'll be right back. Sit and watch the rest of this one as Craig Breslow comes on for the Twins. And the left-hander making his 4th appearance of the year. He's got the switch hitter Lindor, left-handed hitting Brantley due up for the Indians. And should either of them reach, you'd have Edwin Encarnacion after that. And at the moment, no right-hander up in Minnesota's pen. We're only in the 4th inning. And so right now, as this case, as Arch said, the way the Twins are scoring, Paul Molitor just doesn't want this game to get away from them completely in this inning.
Yeah, you got to try and get it under control right here. So he may be. Yeah, actually, he'd love to see a ground ball double play. Twins bullpen did a nice job last night. Rogers and Duffy.
Lindor singled and scored in the first, extending his hitting streak to 12 games.
Oh, look at this. That's a nice play. That's an old Baltimore Oriole play there.
Sneak in behind him.
Yeah, the first baseman sneaks in behind him. Sandy was all over it, where you think he's going to go home, and it's the very first pitch coming out of the bullpen, so maybe you're a little lax over there. You see it's a timing play. Mauer breaks in, and that's I like that play. But Santana was up for it. I'm sure Sandy told him back.
Lindor drills one to center, but Buxton covers a lot of ground and runs dead down deep in center. But how about Roberto Perez? He aggressively tags and goes to third.
Well, that's one of the things why Buxton can play every day, because he went back. I mean, and his strides are like a deer, man. He gets back and look at that. Runs that one down. A very nice route efficiency going back. Puts a hand up. And Perez is going to tag up, and good job getting over there. There are 2 outs, though.
Michael Brantley is 2 for 2. He has doubled, singled, and scored 2. Bounced it right at Mauer. Inning over. Indians get another run. Middle of the 4th. They now lead at 6-2.
'17 Tribe season ticket package for the best seats at the best prices with the best perks. Save big over single game prices. Just go to Indians.com for more details.
Josh Tomlin goes back to work. And a first pitch strike to Max Kepler. Tomlin has retired 7 in a row since the 2-out RBI double by Robbie Grossman in the first inning. Little high. 1-1. Big curveball just outside. Breaking ball low, 3-1. Kepler, Robbie Grossman, Jason Castro due for the Twins here in the 4th. Bullseye with a low fastball.
Looked like he was taken all the way there.
Weekly chop, charging hard. Yandy Diaz unloads in a hurry, and he's safe at first base.
That's the second Twin to get a base hit on a ball that just toppled. You know, bad play. Dozier got one in the first, and then right here with the shift, they had the 3 over on the right side, and then it's up to the third baseman, Diaz, to come on over and try and make the play, but it's bang, bang at first base, and he beats it out for a base hit.
Now, I mentioned this earlier that you had seen some research that was done. It was presented
the last 4 years
with the defensive shifts more and more. I mean, the numbers are staggering how many more shifts we're seeing year after year.
Well, and we know what constitutes the shift now as we see a fly ball out to Brantley.
A true shift is where somebody literally is going from one side of the field to the other.
After, you know, I think 5,000 or 6,000 the first year, the batting average was 297. They almost doubled the shifts the next year. It went up to 299. The third year there was maybe 3,000-4,000 more, which up to around 20,000, and it was stayed at 299. And then last year was 30,000 shifts throughout all 30 teams. It went up to 300. So it's going up with the more shifts that you get. Now, I don't know if the hitters are trying to do something different or what, but, you know, 300 average, whether you're shifting or not, that's pretty good for an offense.
Yeah, you take that. Absolutely, you would.
So is the shift working like they say it is, or what? Or is it only when it happens, just like now we just saw, it hurts you?
Yeah.
You don't know. I'll tell you what, I see a lot of guys hit balls straight back up the middle, and they're out. You know, like let's say where Lindor's playing right now, we see it a lot. And you know, the Indians shift, not as much as a lot of other teams, but it seems like it works a lot. But still, 300 batting average is pretty darn good if you're beating the shift.
My question would be, given those statistics, Arch, are those numbers, in other words, okay, if you're saying you're 300 average against the shift, if the defense was playing straight up, would the average be the same? Would be different?
Who knows? I don't know. Don't know. But it's amazing how much the number has jumped in a 4-year span. It's almost tripled, you know, throughout the course of those 4 years, and it seems like it continues with certain guys.
My point being is, like, a line drive to right center is a line drive to right center. I don't care where you're playing on the field. That's going to be a hit every time. And like that.
Well,
no shift's going to take that away.
Nope.
Trying to go to third is Kepler, and he will. Gabe's throw just kind of checked up. Didn't get a real good.
Yeah, but you know what? It hit the cutoff man, and that's your job. And that's what happened. Lindor was in great shape. He decoyed like he was going to cut the ball so the runner couldn't go to second base. That's what it's designed to do. That you're not going to throw out guys because it wasn't hit right at you, and he was going to his left. But he did his job. He hit the cutoff man. It was a nice hopper. That's why they let it go. The man remains at first base, and the guy got to third.
You keep the double play in order with
Absolutely.
one out. You can still get out of the inning here. And Tomlin tonight, 5 ground ball outs already. You don't think of Josh as really a ground ball pitcher, but he's had him beating it into the dirt. Jorge Polanco grounded out to first base, his only time up. Out of play.
Send along some birthday wishes tonight. Cal Wilson is turning 90. Big Indians fan. Cal, happy birthday to you. And son Mark, right behind him at 65, born on the same day. How about that? Happy birthday to the Wilson boys.
Happy birthday. Sound like an old Western. The Wilson boys are coming.
Yeah.
Better lock up the livestock. We don't want them stealing our cattle. Here they 0-1. Strike called inside corner, 0-2. Also, shout out to Chris Vandersall and Stephanie Terrell. They're diehard Indians fans, and they say somehow they ended up here in Minnesota. They dropped us off some really awesome coffee cake streusel muffins. Remember, their mom sent us some chocolate zucchini muffins in Texas a few years back.
I remember that.
Sister Katie sent us brownies in Chicago, so they didn't want to be outdone.
They do a nice job of keeping us fat.
The 0-2 in the air, center field. Lonnie will make the catch. Tagging, coming home. Here's the throw. Not in time. Not a bad toss from Lonnie. He made it fairly close. That's normally a play where you just say, oh, there's no way he's going to score easily.
I understand. It's hard to throw a guy out from center field with the mound there. I'm surprised Castro didn't take off and go to second base. I mean, just to try. He never left first base, although it was a good throw. But it's hard to throw guys out from that far in center field.
I think Lonnie's throw, like that of Almonte's, was so close to being cut off that Castro probably couldn't go.
No, that's okay, but I looked over there and he was just standing on the bag. He didn't really go back and tag to go out there and at least try and find that throw.
Or at least try to draw the throw to make sure that run scores, right?
Yes. I know he's a catcher, but you can go and do little things.
Eddie Rosario, breaking ball in there for a strike. Rosario grounded to short, his only time up. And that's going to make it into center field. Castro stops at second. Third hit in the inning now for Minnesota. And this all happening after Tomlin had retired 7 in a row coming into the inning.
Look at him pull the hands in. That ball was up. Upstairs. Last time he got him to roll it over, that one was up, and you can see he waited for a while and lined it into center field. So they have 3 hits in the inning.
Well, Mickey Callaway will go out and talk to Tomlin. This doesn't appear to be one of those trips to stall to get the bullpen busy, because I don't see anybody up at the moment. Now that may change very quickly.
Yeah, when you start rolling over to the top of the lineup again, it'll change, because with Josh, he throws so many strikes, things can happen quickly, and you've got to have somebody ready. Just in case, you just never know.
Byron Buxton, the batter, with 2 on, 2 out. Fly to left, his only time up. Two for his last 22 at the plate, with 10 strikeouts, and it's outside ball 1. Dan Otero, right-hander, starts to loosen in Cleveland's bullpen. Shows bunt. Perez says, I'll take it. And the Indians say thank you. Inning over. Twins get a run. They leave 2 stranded. After 4, 6-3 Cleveland. Baseball is brought to you by Levin Furniture. For the best deals on furniture and mattresses, shop Levin's. And by Cleveland Clinic, Express Care Online. Download it now for free.
That looks warm.
Andre's going to walk across that in his bare feet later.
That's okay. I may be right behind him.
What do we got here? Just random fan shots. Folks bundled up, a little chilly, 52 at game time.
Supposed to be worse tomorrow.
Slight breeze blowing in from right. It's supposed to rain most of tomorrow evening. At least that's what the latest forecast was showing. Fifth inning, Twins have the bullpen busy as Craig Breslow stays on to face Edwin Encarnacion. It hit the barrel of the bat.
I think it hit his padding.
Okay.
It sounded like it hit the bat, but that's that little pad, I believe. Watch. See that little pad he has there? Let's see if that's what it hits. Exactly.
Boy, it sure did. It just made such a crack. It sounded
I know.
like it maybe hit the knob.
I know it. Sure did.
Wow.
Well, that's why when you wear stuff like that, you really don't have to move out of the way. If he had no padding, I bet that arm would have moved.
Jose Ramirez clobbered a 2-run homer his last time up. That was from the other side of the plate. But Jose's one of those guys, like Francisco Lindor, the swing from both sides of the plate is practically identical. You'd have to really have a good critical eye to notice any differences. Maybe not as much power from this side of the plate, even though he's not a power hitter, but he can still gap you with doubles.
And maybe a little bit quicker swing from the left side. We just don't get to see him hit this right-handed enough. But I'll tell you what, their splits are very similar, him and Lindor.
And a fastball in there. 3-1, taken all the way. Pretty good location. I think he's looking middle in, and that ball was just away. Even though it didn't have a ton of velocity behind it. Out of play, right side. Tell you what's been impressive tonight. When this game began, Phil Hughes, the starter, so you get the right-hander on the hill. That means the Indians had 6 left-handed bats. And left-handed hitters had an on-base percentage of .216 against the Twins. That Minnesota had the best on-base percentage against lefties in baseball coming into this game here tonight. But Brantley hurt him early. Lindor. Ramirez scorches one up the gap toward left center, but it's cut off by Buxton, and the first 2 are aboard to start the 5th inning. In-game recap brought to you by your Toyota dealers. First inning, Indians had a run in. There were 2 outs. This should end the inning. Jose Ramirez lifted one deep right and doinked off the glove of Max Kepler. Indians scored 2 more. They made it 3-0. Twins came right back, put 2 on the board, and said, hey, we're going to have a game. It's been all Indians since, though. Jose Ramirez, a 2-out, 2-run homer in the 3rd. They tacked on another run in the 4th, And now they've got a chance to pull away here in the 5th with 2 on, nobody out. Lonnie shows bunt, perfectly laid down.
Well done.
Long throw by Sano, and I don't know how in the world Mauer picked it out of there.
I don't either.
Wow.
That ball looked like it went through Chisenhall.
It did.
That was a great play there by Mauer with him bearing down, and it was a very good bunt by Chisenhall. He just stayed right there, lays it down. Now let's watch this again. This is interesting. From our angle, it looked like it almost hit him or went through him. Boy, tough play for the first baseman. You almost feel like you're blocked out, and here comes that runner, but the ball got past. You get out of the way. Good play by Mauer.
Timeout for a pitching change. Indians up 6-3. And they have runners second and third, 1 out. New pitcher Justin Haley, 4th appearance of the year. So righty-righty matchup as Yandy Diaz steps in for Cleveland.
Big guy, 6'5", 230 pounds, 25 years old. Came over from San Diego via the Rule 5 draft.
And Yandy not wasting any time, but he fouls it out of play.
Well, a chance to add on here. Middle part of the ball game, 6-3. Great opportunity. Times like this is when you can take teams out of a ball game. When you score early, beautiful.
Right field, sinking. Kepler makes the belt high catch. His throw to the plate, nowhere nearly in time. Throw to third, and they didn't get him. I think Sano missed the tag. At least that's what third base umpire Hunter Wendelstedt must have thought, because it looked like as Sano swept the glove down, he was there before Ramirez got there with the foot. But Hunter Wendelstedt emphatically signaling safe. Sano then pointing to the dugout. And we'll see on our second look.
I want to see the toe.
No matter what.
Check the toe. Yeah, the run scores regardless. Let's see the toe. I thought he got him.
Did he get him on the
maybe on the knee? On the knee. Let's see. Check the pants.
Looked like he got him.
I think they're going to go. I think they're going to go challenge.
Paul Molitor will in fact challenge the play, and it appeared on that second look that the tag may have got him just above the ankle on the shin. But the run scores no matter what. That would end the inning. But give Diaz an RBI. And it's now 7-3 Cleveland.
Well, that's going to be a tough call too, because can you tell that he really hit the pant for the angles that we saw, even though he was called safe?
I think the pant's moving. You know, after the glove swipes, you see the pants move, and I think that's a pretty good indicator. Let's take one more look at it.
Half the Twins are off the field. They think that they tagged him right there, and hard to tell. But they're done. Let's see. He is out. Okay.
Run scores. Paul Molitor checking with home plate umpire Andy Fletcher.
There was no question because they cut the ball. The ball came to home plate, and Encarnacion went in standing up before they made the throw to third base.
Innings over. Indians up 7-3 as we go to the bottom of the fifth here at Target Field. The Yankees earlier, they go to 7-6 on the year. Tigers losing right now to Tampa down in St. Pete 4-1 there in the 7th inning.
They stopped that Yankee winning streak in New York. They had won, what,
Yeah.
8 in a row?
Yeah, 8 straight. Bryant Dozier singled and scored in the first, grounded out his last time up. Josh Tomlin working here in the 5th with bullpen activity behind him. He had a rocky 4th inning after he set down 7 in a row going into that frame. It's Boone Logan, left-hander, getting loose for Cleveland. This could be a real turning point for Tomlin if he can pick himself up and get through this inning, because he's only at 55 pitches. It's just, can he get back on another one of those rolls 3rd time through the order? In the air, center field, back goes Lonnie. He's got a room, makes the catch, 1 down. Send it down to Andre Knott.
Well, guys, in talking to Roberto Perez before the game and talking about what Josh Tomlin had to do tonight, he said he wanted him to pitch backwards a little bit. He said the Twins know him, so he wanted to pitch backwards because they're going to be aggressive against him. The other thing that he talked about, he says, you guys talked about location in the pregame. He goes, I want him to throw more balls, to stay off the plate a little bit more. He said, and that's hard for Josh to do. And so far it's worked, but he said, you have to throw less strikes to be successful against this team. Also, Josh got that haircut right before the game, and he told me when he walked out here, he said, if I would have known it was this cold, I would have kept my hair until after this game. That's as short as it's been, he said, since he was in college, too, by the way.
Well, I looked out there, and it looked like a different pitcher. I didn't think that was Josh, to be honest with you. I thought we had an impersonator out there.
1-0 pitch. Andre, was that done to maybe change his luck? Was that the idea behind it?
You guys know how this works around here.
He's not going to really say.
He didn't say it, but he got it cut late, too. I'd say an hour and a half before he went out there, he got his hair cut. The other thing is he had a bad outing last time, and I didn't get to mention this when he was out there. He sat in the dugout the entire 9 innings last game.
We watched him,
Tito Francona told me today, he said that's why he's the best teammate I've ever managed, ever played around, or ever been with. He goes, because most guys would have went and hidden in the clubhouse and never been seen. He made sure everybody on his team saw him, and he was not going to walk away after losing that game in his last start.
Well, those are little things you do. You care. I mean, hey, just because you get knocked out of the game doesn't mean you can't pull for your teammates, and he's never, ever been that way. He pulls for them every step of the way. That's why everybody likes him.
Miguel Sano steps in 0 for 2. And a foul back. I think they got a good chunk of Roberto Perez.
Sure did.
But, you know, sometimes he lays that leg down flat on the ground and exposes the top part of that leg, the thigh area, and I think that's where that ball got him. See how that knee's flat on the ground, and all of a sudden your thigh is exposed and
right
bang.
on the top of it.
Yep. Now the 0-1. Just off the outside edge. One ball, 2 strikes. Well, Don Henley in between pitches here, huh?
Yeah.
All she wants to do is dance.
You like that, huh?
From the Building the Perfect Beast album, yeah. Wheelhouse, mid-80s. Low and away, 2-2. Tomlin's just about 70% strikes tonight. But he's run the count full here, being careful with Sano. Max Kepler waits on deck. Will he get a chance to bat here? The 3-2. Got him looking. Perfect pitch. Painted the outside corner. Inning over. And Tomlin bounces right back with his third 1-2-3 inning of the night.
perks, including savings and access to Tribe Rewards. Today's Tribe Rewards code is Kluber. Visit Indians.com for complete details. There he is, little ski cap on, staying warm in the dugout, checking everything out. He'll pitch on Getaway Day, which will be Thursday, against Irvin Santana. That should be a nice matchup.
Yeah, has the makings.
Very nice matchup. Santana's pitched well, 3-0 this year.
Justin Haley stays on to pitch here in the 6th. Abraham Almonte leading it off, and that's called a strike. All the way to the backstop. That one got away.
Just a bit high.
Now the 1-2. Breaking ball down on the dirt. A little low. And a full count.
Changeup, curveball, fastball by Haley.
Low. Leadoff man aboard. It's April in the OH. Indians take on the Twins. Game 3 of this 4-game set tomorrow night. Trevor Bauer. Indians live at 7:30. First pitch at 8 right here on Sports Time Ohio. Streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Roberto Perez will bat with the leadoff man aboard. Now, here's a situation where you've got a 4-run lead. Do you think about, with a guy that's struggling a little bit at the bottom of the lineup, bunting here, get a guy in scoring position, try to get one more run out of this?
No, because he can hit that hole between first and second. And I want to see this leg kick here. I'm going to check it out and see if I can get a time on him. And you don't have to worry. See if we can steal a base.
Roberto takes a strike.
So maybe a little quicker than normal. Not much, but that was on the curveball. That's the one, if you run, that's the one you want to run on. For a big guy, it looks like he's going to take a long time, but he doesn't stride much. Throws that left leg out and just a flinch.
No, there was the bunt attempt, but
don't know if he was doing that on his own or not. You got a 4-run lead here. He just got a base hit his last time. I'd try and shoot him to right field. This is where you also could play hit and run too, but Perez he goes deep to a lot of counts, and he also
nice caught by Dozier. Roberto tried to take it right back up the middle, but instead, one out. Top of the order, Carlos Santana. And it's low, ball one. Santana drove in a run in the fourth, giving him 11 RBIs on the year. Broke his bat, going to flare it into left, and Almonte hits the bag at second, but he holds right there. Rosario quickly over to get to it.
Well, if you got to shatter a bat, that's the way to go. Make sure it ends with a base hit, and it certainly does. You don't see him go to left field a whole lot, but the barrel just exploded. He's got most of the bat in his hand, and a good portion of the barrel just flew off. So that wood just split in half, so it was time to get rid of that one. But it ends a base hit, second straight hit for Santana, and hit number 10 for the Tribe.
Yeah, that's going to bring up Francisco Lindor.
Minnesota, nobody warming in their pen, so Mr. Haley, it's your game.
Frankie Singleton scored in the first, and he nearly had an extra base knock in the fourth, but Byron Buxton ran it down in deep center. Lindor has now collected a hit in 12 straight games. He has 19 hits during that 12-game streak. Out of play.
Already the fourth time around in this lineup. This is what you wanted to see. You know, get these guys some quality at bats with runners in scoring position. They have had their share of base runners. Only one walk today by the Twins, but 10 hits for the Indians. A mistake and an error made that cost the Twins 2 runs in the very first inning of this ball game.
Now the 1-1.
Oh,
Lindor
boy.
drives
Oh,
one
boy.
deep. That's going to get down and go to the wall. That's going to bring home Almonte. Here comes Santana. He'll be waved home. Dozier will make no throw. All the way to third with a 2-run triple is Francisco Lindor. And the Indians have blown it open now. Lead it 9-3.
You know, I was looking out there and I see that they had so much of right center field because Buxton stole the hit from him to straightaway center. He was playing him to left center field. There was no way he was going to get this ball that Lindor hit, so it cleans the bases. Frankie's first triple of the year and the very first triple for the Indians. Drives in a pair, and they have scored in 5 of the first 6 innings.
And the Twins bring the infield in with Michael Brantley at the plate. He already has
boy.
2 hits tonight.
Free at bat for Brandt.
Inside ball 1.
Good hitters love to see this. This makes you about 100 points higher hitter when you get that infield in, man on third, less than 2 outs. Hitters love to see this.
In Minnesota's bullpen, but still nobody throwing.
Not really fast.
Yeah. Justin Haley deals. It's inside.
I don't know if anybody wants to come in tonight.
Nine runs on 11 hits for the Indians, and we're only in the 6th.
I know.
That was a good pitch. 2-1.
Yeah, and you spit on it. If it's a good pitch, you got a 2-0 count, you're a hitter, you don't like it, you just take it, and it's a strike. No big deal. That's the benefit of getting ahead of the pitcher, if you can, as a hitter. Settle in on your pitch.
And Michael right at the second baseman, Dozier. Hit it hard, but right at him. And Dozier's, you can almost read his body language like, whew. I don't want to have to play the infield in against guys like that very often.
That's the price you pay. You bring it in the hopes that if they hit it hard, it's going to be right at one of your infielders, and it certainly was right there. But you're right. It's a little scary playing the infield with some of the hitters nowadays.
I saw one of those deals. Who the heck was it now? It was the Yankees.
Oh, it wasn't Judge or something.
It was Holiday.
Oh, yeah.
118 miles an hour, something like that, off his bat. I mean, it went 450 feet, but it was just. Well, imagine if he didn't launch it and he hit it on the
Imagine if it was a ground ball.
Yeah.
I know it.
Woo. Edwin Encarnacion with a runner at third, 2 down. Twin ship, 3 to the left side of the infield. You see Dozier, the second baseman, he's over on the shortstop side of the bag. Maybe even got Buxton pulled over in left center, so they're really pulling him as a dead straight pull hitter. And then they pound him inside, and it's 2-1.
They've been pitching him up in the zone all series through the first 2 games anyway. Then throwing those breaking balls away.
Inside out swing, fouled back. Two high. And that fastball not enticing for Encarnacion. And he fouls it right back. A little low, and Encarnacion patiently waits him out. What's Edwin? All right, he heads down to first. First and third, 2 down, and Jose Ramirez the batter. Jose Ramirez made a 2-run homer in the third, and he punched a single in the left center in the 5th. High ball 1.
He got a nice cutter down and in the 3rd inning to lift it deep enough to get it out of here. He just missed in his very first at bat today, a home run, but he got him the second time. And then how about that? Nice 6-game hitting streak, just 636.
Oh, called a strike, Jose. I don't think he was in agreement there. 2-1. Justin Haley has already thrown 30 pitches. And only 50% of them for strikes. Now a right-hander getting loose in Minnesota's bullpen as Michael Tonkin begins to get loose. Now the 2-2 to Ramirez, and it's way outside. Full count. Not unusual to see a young pitcher nibble. I think it's human nature, especially when you can get knocked around a little bit too.
Well, that's yes.
Give up a couple of hits.
Well, he's pitching in this type of game, but it benefits you for the manager to see you go at hitters and attack.
Ramirez might have helped him out. Strikes out, ends the inning. But Francisco Lindor gaps one, drives home 2 more, and the Indians increase their lead to 9-3. Of the 6th inning here at Target Field in Minneapolis, and Josh Tomlin back out here to pitch the 6th. Tomlin has made just 62 pitches through 5 innings. 41 of those for strikes. Boone Logan, the left-hander, up again in the Cleveland pen. And Tomlin with the first pitch, strike. I think, you know, one of Josh's biggest challenges tonight has been waiting around. Indians have had some lengthy half innings at bat.
Yeah, he has, but you know, the rotation now this time around starting to get a little better. They've tossed at least 6 innings in 3 straight and 6 of the last 8 starts. Josh trying to come out here, get 3 more outs and make it 4 straight and get it rolling. And you know, these guys are going to end up feeding off one another. They did last year. They get out there and then they can turn it over to the bullpen. But when you have offense like this, you can go to that bullpen and now you can pitch anybody you want. They used the big 3 last night, Shaw, Miller, and Allen, to hold on to a 3-1 ball game. But you can get some other guys work now in a 6-run ball game, you would think.
Ground ball right to Lindor. Speaking of 4 straight, this is the first time this year the Indians have scored in 4 straight innings.
Okay, yeah, 5 out of the first 6. That's what you like to see.
Yeah, sustain it.
Keep going, keep attacking, and they have. Boy, they've had their opportunities. They're rolling that lineup over. They should each get 5 at bats tonight.
To first.
Beautiful.
Santana.
That's the thing when you're throwing strikes, you're hitting your spots. They may be hitting them on the nose, but they put it in play, and you can have some low pitch innings.
T-Mobile unlimited baseball break. Last night, R.A. Dickey, Bartolo Colon posted back-to-back wins. First teammates 42 are over to win back-to-back games since 1990 when Nolan Ryan and Charlie Huff turned the trick.
That? Do you remember Nolan and Charlie? The old knuckleballer.
I remember Nolan Ryan pitching late in his career with the Rangers because I remember that great night when Ricky Henderson earlier in the day broke Lou Brock's stolen base record, and then that night Ryan fired his 7th no-hitter.
Yeah.
Struck out Robbie Alomar to end it.
Well, if you're pitching competitively into your 40s in this league, you're a freak of nature.
Well, it wasn't too long before that when the Indians had Steve Carlton.
It was 1987, I believe, or 89.
Line drive center field.
87, that's right.
Who else did they have on that staff? They had a couple old guys, didn't they? Besides
Carlton and Negro.
Yeah.
A couple of old guys. Negro is, what was he, 48?
I remember in the National League Championship Series in '92 when Phil was working with the Braves organization. I think he was maybe in the front office in some capacity. They got him in uniform and brought him out to throw batting practice because the Braves couldn't figure out how to hit Tim Wakefield.
Yeah. There's no way to figure out how to hit a knuckleball. Close your eyes and swing and hope you hit it.
Now the 1-0 pitch. Kind of like trying to pick out an NCAA tournament basketball bracket.
It's like,
give it to somebody that doesn't know anything about basketball and they've got as good a chance as you do.
You know what it is? Go get a bat and run in the summertime and wait for the butterflies to start flying around and go try and hit one. That's about what it's like. Even with a wiffle ball bat.
2-0 pitch in there. Tampa Bay's extended their lead over the Tigers to 5-1 in the 8th down at St. Pete. Fouled right back. Royals Giants still tied 1-1 in KC.
Little matchup of the World Series a couple of years ago.
Hey, good for Bronson Arroyo, by the way. He ended up getting the win in that Reds game against Baltimore. 9-3 the final. It's his first win in I don't know how long.
Reds are playing some pretty solid baseball.
Might be 2 years since Bronson's had a win. 2-2 pitch. Off the end of the bat foul.
Cincinnati now 9-5. Leading the Central Division. Milwaukee right behind them. What's that game? Oh, the Cubs came back and took an 8-7 lead in the 7th. Cubs have lost 4 straight.
Yeah. Been a slow start for a lot of teams and a lot of individuals.
Well, like you
baseball.
said, nobody got off to the hot start.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that bodes well for everybody in every division. If no one gets off to that very good 12-2 start, 14-3, whatever it may be, you get 10 games above 500 early.
Looks like the on-deck hitter is almost in the back pocket of the guy at the plate, doesn't it?
Pretty close.
Josh with the 2-2. In the dirt and a full count.
Atlanta's winning streak at home may come to an end tonight. Washington beating them 2-0 in the 8th.
Now the 3-2. Runner goes, foul back. Man, this has been some at bat for Jorge Polanco. Yeah, unless Toronto rallies and they're down 7-4 in the 8th at home, the Blue Jays are about to fall to 2-11 to start the year. So while nobody's gotten off to the blistering hot start, they're the only team in baseball that's gotten off to one of those.
Yeah.
Can we get a do-over kind of starts?
Yeah, exactly. We need a mulligan.
Again, the runner Castro off at first with the 3-2 pitch to Polanco. Got him. Oh, nope, fouled into the ground.
Oh, boy.
And he stays alive.
It's a break.
This was pitch number 9 in the at-bat. Just didn't stick in the glove.
No, it didn't stick. It's too bad because This could possibly be Josh's last hitter, should he reach.
I'm sure Terry Francona and Mickey Callaway are really hoping that Tomlin can get Polanco, because after this long of an at-bat, this takes a lot out of a pitcher. I mean, he still has could probably give you another inning, but they may be weighing their options if he doesn't put Polanco away here. And the 3-2 coming. In the air, center field, Lonnie is there, and Josh Tomlin does it again. 6 complete, 9-3 Indians. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by the injury lawyers at Elk & Elk, proud partners of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. And by the new 2017 Kia Optima. It's a 9-3 Cleveland lead. Josh Tomlin has to really enjoy the way the offense has come out and supported him here tonight. A lot easier to go out there and pitch when you know not every pitch could be the difference between winning and losing the ball game. Giving him a little wiggle room, and he's done a terrific job. Lonnie Chisenhall will lead off here in the 7th inning for Cleveland. Lonnie's one of the few guys in baseball, he's the only guy on the Indians club, to my knowledge, who uses the axe handle bat. It's very unique, it's very different, but he really loves the way it feels in his hand. You know, you think about the barrel or the baseball bat, traditional, the one we've all used as kids. It's just round. You got the knob on the bottom. Well, the bottom of his bat is literally contoured exactly like an axe handle, so it lays in your hand. And a lot of guys that have tried it really like the way it feels, because it's got a completely different feel. The one difference is, as Lonnie and the guys explained to me, you can't twist that bat in your hands because it has to lay exactly the way it is.
I gotcha.
Blooped on the infield. It's going to be caught at third by Sano. But I was talking to Andre about this, and I know Andre has conferred with Lonnie extensively on the subject. I've talked to him a little bit, but a lot of it started when, you know, Lonnie, sometimes, you know, like hitters, their hands get beat up, your wrists get beat up, and he just liked the way it felt like it took a little ease off of the hands and off the wrists.
Right. We're going to work on doing a special on it, because we're going to do it. It's a bunch of bats. He feels like 80% of Major League Baseball will start using these bats as they start picking them up and learning about them. He had a wrist injury, if you remember, last spring, and someone told him, he says, when you have that hamate bone or that thumb injury, try this bat out and see what it feels like. Rick, he says the thing that he likes about it, he feels like the head of the bat swings around and it almost brings itself through the hitting zone, and he feels quicker on those inside pitches when he swings with it. It's a pretty interesting bat. We're going to do more on it over the next few days.
Yeah, it is interesting. Who turned him on to that, Andre?
Well, there's only, like I said, a lot of guys that have had hand injuries have kind of gone to this bat. So when he had the injuries last spring, you know how the bat companies come around during the spring, and, and a couple guys said, hey, try this bat out. Now, we don't have a lot of guys on our team that are using them, but there's some extra ones sitting around because they make the axe handle part. There's some are thicker than others, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So they kind of feel it for your hand to see what you like. And even, let's say you like to choke up, they'll make it thicker on the bottom so you can feel it that way. But like you said, like Matt said, you have to hold it at the right place.
That's a weird looking bat. Now, do you know what company makes that?
The company's called Axe. It's AXE. And now
Go figure.
Yeah.
Axe.
Now I want to say Mookie. I want to say
Mookie Betts?
Mookie Betts uses it. The guys that are using it are all great hitters right now. So I'll have more information on it over the next week or so because we're doing something with Lonnie about this.
I like that. I mean, I never seen those before.
Well, the interesting thing too is that so the bat company, if you make bats, you're making thousands and thousands of bats. This is a completely different style handle. So, if you're going to make that style of a handle on the bat, then you've got to almost like change all your mechanics. Your machinery has to be just to make that kind of a bat.
Yeah. As Lonnie said, they better have some customers if they make as many as they need to make as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They can't just make them without knowing these guys are going to use them.
No, quite. Well, it's going to take a while for it to get out and for people to believe it. But, like you said, it started with guys with hand injuries. That's interesting.
Well, Arch, it's almost like, think about the maple. Remember when nobody swung a maple back? All of a sudden, Barry, strike three called. Yanni thought he was headed to first for a walk. Instead, he's rung up. And there are two down. You never saw people swinging anything but, ash, I guess, for the longest time. And all of a sudden, somebody gets hot, somebody has a big year. What kind of bat you using? I'm going to get a dozen of those.
Sure. I mean, I understand that.
Yeah.
But, usually with the bat, if you have injuries, they came out with the thumb donut, the one that, a lot of hitters wear. You'll see them on the top hand. It's that little cushion that goes on your thumb. But these are contouring the bats to your hand.
Hope I didn't spill the beans on your story there, Andre. I didn't realize you were working undercover on that.
Andre's
piece.
always doing something.
It's all
undercover.
good. We're a team here. That was a good setup.
Tease. I'm teasing it, right?
Teasing me, baby.
Stay tuned for more. Here's the 0-1. And it's a little bit off the plate. Yeah, I had read a bit about it in the offseason, and then when I saw Lonnie in spring, early in camp, I was asking him about it. I just thought it was really kind of a fascinating, because look, the game's been around for over 100 years. The changes are small and they're sometimes very subtle. And I thought that was one that has the potential to be somewhat revolutionary, if a lot of guys really like that style of bat.
Well, like Andre says, if you keep hitting 330 like Mookie Betts and those guys are using them, I think other guys will start using them just because they get so many hits.
Well, it's just like the tape. We've talked about it. I think Abe uses it. I never saw guys.
No, I know it. That's really grown in the last couple of years.
Specialty product.
But I got to tell you, I mean, I picked up a couple of those bats. It feels pretty good.
Yeah. Because it's not just tape, it's cushion. It's
a cushion. It's almost like a wrap for a golf club, where it's got a little give to it, but it feels good with the batting gloves on.
2 down, Abraham Almonte to the plate. I hope fans forgive us because we're getting way off the point here, but I think the company that came up with that wrap for the bats, if I remember right, the story goes their wraps were designed for like dirt bikes, motorcycles.
Yeah, I can believe that.
Because it's cushioned.
Yeah. Shock absorbers.
The 1-2. Another good at bat. Fouling pitches off. Justin Haley. Delivers. Almonte grounds it to Dozier. Inning over. They stopped the Indians' scoring streak. Stretch time here in Minneapolis. 9-3 Cleveland.
Summer camps presented by Cleveland Indians Children's offer major league instruction to baseball players in Northeast Ohio. You can sign up today and let professionals teach your child the Indians' way to play. Just visit Indians.com for more details. Take a little picture. Maybe one of his favorite players coming up in the on-deck circle. And let's go try. The offense is out tonight. Danny Otero coming on for the 7th time. Tomlin pitched his 6 innings, gave up 7 hits, 3 runs, didn't walk anybody, a couple of strikeouts. A couple of runs in the first inning.
Swung out and missed. Landed upstairs on Rosario. Yeah, that's way upstairs. Pulls it foul. Now the pitch, and it is ripped into right. So Eddie Rosario aboard to start the 7th inning for Minnesota. Well, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Josh Tomlin tonight went 6. The 3 runs allowed. 2 of them came in the first, but he settled down really well after that. Retired 7 straight after giving up the 2 runs in the first.
Well, you can see the movement. You can see where the location is. A lot of them on the corners where Josh Tomlin has to live. He did give up 7 hits, but you know the mistakes when he makes it middle of the plate, he's going to come get him. But it was a good sight. His offense came out and gave him some runs early. He settled in, and he pitched the game that we know Josh Tomlin can pitch.
He finished the game retiring 7 of the last 8 that he faced. Byron Buxton is 0 for 2 tonight. Inside, he missed. 2-0.
Buxton in this last at-bat had runners on base, first and third, and tried to bunt his way on. Ended up making it out to end that inning in the 4th.
Right back to Otero. He gets the ground ball. Lindor tried to get it. He couldn't come up with it. It went to Ramirez, who backed up the play smartly, and then Ramirez tried to fire his seat over to first.
It was just a bad throw by Otero.
Instead of a double play, now the Twins are set up for some action.
Well, what happened, he tried to get the double play so quickly. You know, he was waiting for Lindor, but he threw it just a little wide. He let him over the bag, and he couldn't get there. But a beautiful play by Ramirez backing up. Really a heads-up play, but Buxton's speed beats it out. And he can't help him. That was just a bad throw by Danny, because Lindor was covering there, and you may not have gotten the double play, but you at least have to get one. You got to make sure you get the first one.
Second error of the night for the Indians. Second error of the year by an Indians pitcher. Now Brian Dozier out of play. Last thing you want to do when you're up 6 is gift wrap an opportunity for your opponent.
Well, you know, when he turned, Ramirez was over towards the bag and backing up anyway. He might have saw Jose.
I was thinking the same thing.
And threw it to him.
You know how your eye catches it and you don't mean to, but you see him?
They tell you before who's covering, you know. So, you know, I know it's an illusion out there where you see Ramirez, but you got to make sure you get the first one, and he wanted to get the double play. I can see how it can happen.
Got him looking. How do you like that? 3 pitches. He retires the dangerous Dozier for out number 1. What Dan Otero, you talk about picking yourself up after an error.
Yeah, exactly right. He goes off the dish, but watch it come back. Those are the first 2 pitches. He got better as the sequence went on. Did he even swing the bat in that? I didn't see him.
Well, now he's still a ground ball away from getting out of the inning. And that's his specialty.
And this is a candidate. Bauer hits into a lot of double plays every year. So far this year, he's grounded into 2.
Ooh. That's a strike to 95% of the hitters probably in baseball. Only the top guys get that call. Mauer has certainly developed a reputation of having a great eye and being an excellent all-around hitter. The one knock against Mauer that continues to plague him, and I don't think it's ever going to change, is that he's just not a power guy. And when you make the kind of dough that he makes, people expect to see some, you know, RBIs, some home runs.
Yeah, well, they've tried that with him, and it just hasn't panned out. He can't change the kind of hitter he is. He stays on the ball. He thinks the other way. He's a line drive hitter. He hit much better when he liked the Metrodome when he played in there, because you could leave and right if you needed.
He has 11 hits on the year. All 11 are singles. But you're right. You know, he could still hit you out of the park the other way with the metronome. A little difficult to do that here.
It drove him and Morneau nuts when they came here and they were hitting balls to left center field the first year. Remember, the ball wasn't carried, and I think it got in their head.
Otero nibbling on that outside corner. Can't get Mauer to bite. Can't get the umpire to raise the right hand. He's going after this spot repeatedly.
Well, he can continue to do that. It's off the plate, and Mauer's not going to swing at it. Mauer knows the strike zone about as well as anybody. He will not swing at it if you throw another one there. 3-2. You're going to have to get it on the plate for him to swing.
Ground
like
ball.
That.
Ramirez to Lindor. Back to first. It's an inning-ending
Good
double
job
play.
by Otero.
I mean, Dan Otero, you talk about sometimes the pitcher has to pick up his defense. He picked himself up and got out of trouble. Presented by authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. (9-3) Cleveland. 8th inning. And Justin Haley getting a workout. He's pitched 2 1/3 innings of relief. He's been charged with 2 runs, and he's going to stay out and pitch the 8th, or at least start the 8th.
Yeah, at least for another hitter or 2.
Michael Tonkin again up in the Minnesota pen. Roberto Perez 1 out of 3 on the night. Starts him off with a breaking ball.
But you know, at some point in time in games similar to this, someone's going to have to wear it, you know, and go out there and save that bullpen. There's still 2 more games left in this series.
You know, Paul Molitor said after the game last night it was just a typical Cleveland game in that grinded out win the Indians had against Minnesota. And I think what he was referring to,
going against the big 3.
Yeah, more than anything else, is something all America saw in the postseason, which was, you know, the Indians run their starter out there for 6, and then it's Shaw, Miller, Allen.
Yeah, it's a 6 inning, but he knows.
Yeah.
You end up playing this game to a 6-inning game against the Indians when they're firing on all cylinders, because if you got to go over and face them, you're looking, okay, good Lord. You know, and they have been pitching well, and they got to see all 3 of them last night, and tonight you shouldn't have to see any of them, so they'll be ready to go tomorrow, and they can go back-to-back days.
Twins go to a shift, and interesting that they put Sano, the big heavy-legged third baseman, on the right side of second base.
Well, remember how we said some teams like to throw their third baseman over there, leave their shortstop at the main position to turn double plays and do other things. I know that a guy's not on first, but
that's Sano just to the right of second base. 250 pounds of him.
He looks like a middle linebacker out there. As a hitter, you're thinking, hey, can you move that big thing that's out there at second base? I can't see that. Why that ball's getting caught in his jersey.
Get that statue out of the way.
That's a big man.
Santana pops one up, and this might be Sano's ball.
To the big man.
2 away. Let's take a look at the Indians box score. A lot of people involved. Santana with a couple of hits, a ribby and a run.
That looks good, doesn't it?
Frankie Lindor drove in 2 with that triple in the 6th. 2-run homer from Ramirez in the 3rd. Sac fly by Diaz. I mean, they've had a number of people get involved, and that's always good.
Yeah, and they're going through that lineup now for the 5th time.
Francisco Lindor. High pop might be playable here. Sano, another pop up. Indians go in order, and we'll go to the bottom of the 8th. 9-3 Minnesota.
Premieres tonight after Indians Live. Big Al and J. Lou look back at the past week of Indians action, bring you all the interviews and features you need to see, and take a look at what's happening throughout the Indians farm system. Tribe Report is presented by GMC.
Well, Miguel Sano, active defensively in the top half of the inning, leading off here in the bottom of the 8th. He's 0 for 3 on the night. Paul Molitor said before the game yesterday that he thought in the postseason in particular what enabled Terry Francona to use Andrew Miller so effectively was how well Cody Allen and Brian Shaw, and when used, Dan Otero pitched, because those guys being able to do their job. That ball's launched and gone. Miguel Sano with his 4th home run of the year, and that shows you the kind of power this big guy has, because that's a right-handed hitter going oppo up the 23-foot wall. It's 365 to the base of that wall, but he shot it out of here in a hurry.
Yeah, that's a
gets the Twins a run closer at 9-4, and it's going to end the night for Dan Otero.
that was like a left-handed pull hitter. I mean, that's how he hit that ball. It was a line drive, and it didn't take long to get out of here. Whew. Yeah, I can't believe it.
So timeout for a pitching change. Looks like Boone Logan's coming in when we come back. As they hoop it up here in Minneapolis on a chilly night. There was a little bit of mist falling here earlier, but that seems to have dried up for the moment. Boone Logan makes his 7th appearance. And Max Kepler taking a strike. Kepler drove in a run with a sac fly in the first. Singleton scored in the 4th. Grounded out his last time up, but his biggest impact on this game came in the top half of the first inning when he just dropped a routine fly ball in right field, and the Indians pounced for 3 runs.
Something that may never happen to him again, you know, in his big league career. Dropped it as easily as he did tonight.
They had already scored 1.
Right.
But that's when the inning should have ended. But he dropped the ball, another run scored, and then Lonnie Chisenhall followed that with an RBI hit, and it ended up a 3-run first. And the Indians really have never looked back since. Swing and a miss. Boone Logan strikes him out. Perez has to flip it to first. That's out number 1. Here's our Pat O'Brien plays of the game. Back to the first. Here it is. This should end the inning, right? Watch. Doink. Run scores. And then Lonnie really makes it hurt. He picked up that ball up off the ground.
He sure did. Made it a 3-run inning for the Tribe.
Little high. In there for a strike. High pop-up foul, out of play. they might be headed to extras in Kansas City unless the Royals score. Bottom of the ninth. 1-1 Giants and Royals in KC. That Boston-Toronto game creeping along. They're only in the ninth. Yes. Seemed like they were in the eighth for a long time, but it's still 8-5 Red Sox.
Yeah, Toronto, it's 2 outs, second and third, bottom of the ninth.
Cubs lead Milwaukee 8-7, bottom of the eighth at Wrigley. Checked, it was low, no swing. Full count. Now the payoff. Down the line, slicing. Foul.
Oh, 1-run game in Toronto.
Well, that happened in a hurry.
Yeah, someone must have hit a 3-run homer. Or drove in a couple.
Yeah. Ezekiel Carrera, a 2-run homer. How about that, huh? So 2 outs, bottom of the ninth. Blue Jays trying to avoid their 11th loss in the first 13 games. Strike 3 called. 2 down.
Locked him up with a fastball inside, and Grossman doesn't like the call.
Recapping our Mazda storylines from tonight. Home run ball against Hughes. Well, they did get one off of him, and that was via Jose Ramirez. That made it 5-2 at that point. Tomlin, I thought he was really good. He struggled early. That first inning was a little dicey. Had one other spot in the fourth inning where he had to work around some trouble, but hey, he went 6 innings tonight.
Settled in nicely. He needed that start.
After he gave up the 2 runs in the first, he settled down and retired 7 straight, and then finished by retiring 7 of the last 8. So I think those are the 2 parts that he can build off of.
And he left with what, about 70, 80 pitches? He didn't have many.
I think more than anything, he stayed out of the middle of the plate, and that's what hurt him in his first couple of starts, was just mistakes in the fat part of the hitting zone.
Yeah.
Jason Castro keeps the inning alive with a 2-out single. And Jorge Polanco coming up. Polanco an RBI with a sac fly in the fourth. Pulls it foul. Time to take a picture. Send it to Mom. Look what I got at the game tonight. Now, attendance here at Target Field, understandably down. Twins didn't play all that well last year and didn't make a lot of noise in the offseason other than the hiring of Derek Falvey, which those of us close to the Indians organization know that's a great hire for them to run their baseball operations. They had a season ticket base when this place opened of 25,000.
Yeah.
25,000.
Sounds familiar, doesn't it?
I know.
Yeah.
Well, now it's down to, it's about half of that now. So last night I think they had, what was it?
16, I think.
Under 17. It was only like the 4th time they've had a crowd under 17,000 since this park opened. Slowly chopped to third. Yandy Diaz. Santana can't dig it out. Trying to go to third now. Throw over by Santana. That's not in time. So Twins at the corners with 2 down.
Is that going to be their third error? I would think. What do you think?
I don't know, because it's a do or die play for Yandy, so I don't know.
Let's see. He comes in. He's playing back. He gloves it easily. If he makes a good throw, he's got him. It's a bad throw. It hits the
runner.
Yeah, that's an error. That's an error. And it looks like it would be their third. I don't know what they scored it yet.
Simon says a single and an error on the throw allows Castro to advance. So a base hit for Polanco. And it is the Indians' third error of the night. And they had 3 errors in the first 13 games.
Yeah.
Brian Shaw's up because this is suddenly allowing the Twins to hang around, if you will. Even though there are 2 out in the 8th. Rosario is pulled for a pinch hitter as Danny Santana. Take his cracks. Rosario is a pure left-handed bat, which is why Paul Molitor makes the move. Cuts and misses at a ball down low, and it's 1-2. Danny Santana's been to bat 14 times this year and has just 2 hits. Switch hitter. And now Boone Logan trying to put him away here. Popped, foul, and into the seats. So we'll do it again. Oh, nice ricochet. I mean, right to a room service hop.
Keep your eye on the ball. You never know. There's another bit. What did we do before cell phones?
Nobody walked around with cameras.
Right.
But very rarely did anybody have a camera with them.
These guys have it within 5 seconds.
1-2 in the dirt. The worst thing about cameras back in our day, I remember, you'd go to a big event like a ball game. Oh, look at Andre. Go to a, you'd snap a whole roll of film, and then you'd send it to the drugstore, drop it off at the drugstore.
Take you a week.
You wait, you get them back, and they're all blurry. You're like, oh, man. Down goes Santana. The inning is over. Logan strikes out 3, but the home run by Sano keeps the Twins just hanging around 9-4 as we go to the ninth. Jensen, it's a team game. You spread it around. You give everybody a little credit here. Now, it has been really a team effort tonight, especially when you look at the offensive side. So many people involved, but you can't look at a ball game and just say, well, the offense carried it, because Josh Tomlin had to go out and pitch well, because he gave up those 2 runs in the first, and even though they scored 3, you thought, oh, man, this could be one of those back-and-forth slug-it-out affairs. But he settled into a groove, whereas Phil Hughes never did, and that therein, maybe lies the difference in this game. So here in the 9th inning, the Indians will have Brantley, Encarnacion, and Ramirez due up. And Michael Tonkin taking over for Justin Haley, the 4th Twins pitcher of the night, fires a fastball in there.
Brantley 2 for 4, scored a pair of runs. Set up the 1st inning with his double.
Good low heater. Able to throw it by him.
Comes out firing 2 seeds, 2 good fastballs.
Well, he's been warming up in the bullpen for half an hour.
Well, he comes out with those sleeves on, and he's ready to roll.
Ouch. Hit him right in the knee, and hopefully that's not going to leave a mark. That could not feel good.
Well,
in any weather, let alone a cool night like this one.
He's just
Yikes.
He wanted to go back in there again with another fastball. He just held on to it a little too long. Looked like it got him just below the knee. Awfully close, hard to tell. We'll get a better look at it here.
You know what? The good news for Michael, as you noticed, it wasn't locked on contact. He was able to kind of pick it up.
Yeah, just a little below the knee, but it doesn't feel good. There's no meat there. I wouldn't be surprised to see him come out and Martinez go in, or he says fine.
I think Tito was almost trying to nudge him in that direction, like, why don't you just sit the rest of this one out? But Michael said, I sat out almost all of last year. I'm not sitting.
I'm ready.
Forget about it. So leadoff man aboard. And up comes Encarnacion. Drilled to deep left, and you can forget about that baby. Encarnacion finds the home run stroke that has evaded him through much of the early going here. His first extra base hit since that double he had a little while ago, but first home run since the opening night affair in Texas. And that puts pretty much a capper on this one, as it's now 11-4 Cleveland. Oh.
Well, he wasted no time. Let's see where the fastball is. That was right down the middle, and it was down. And he's able to golf that ball up, and he finally stayed back and hits one into the seats.
Jose Ramirez pops one sky high on the infield. And Dozier makes the catch. One down. It's a good swing by Encarnacion, because, Rick, it's not the long.
Well, it was down, too. They've been trying to pitch him up all night long. And he ran into that fastball. That'll make him smile. His first hit of the night. Heads up. That away. Umpire got out of the way. Someone told him it was coming back. Ricocheted off the screen. Castro made the catch. The Indians 11 runs on 12 hits. They've hit a couple of homers today, a couple of doubles, a triple, their first triple of the year. Lindor drove in a pair.
Oh, did he have a rip at that baby? Fouled it back.
I'm going to start calling Jizz now the Axeman.
The Axeman. The Axeman cometh. Now the 1-2. Oh, that nailed him right on the wrist above the leather.
Yeah, that didn't feel good. He's got the glove off. He's walking around talking to himself. Trying to get a little feeling back in that left hand. Watch it about the wrist. There it is, right off the wrist on the inside part of it. Ouch.
Got a whole host of ways you could go with that, huh? The Axeman, you could go Molly Hatchet. You could go
flirting with disaster.
The Lumberjack.
Look at your mind going. You're ready to go. The Molly Hatchet.
Struck him out with a pretty good fastball. 95 and just above the belt. 2 down here in the inning. And Yandy Diaz 0 for 3 on the night. He had a sac fly in the 5th and a line drive that was caught by Dozier in the 4th.
Yeah, he's the only one that hasn't joined the party tonight, the hit parade.
Yeah, he came in with a hit in 5 straight games. Man, I think all in all, he's done a very nice job, especially when you consider it was sort of a last-minute, hey, I know you've been playing outfield most of the spring, but let's get you at third base, where he has played, so it wasn't foreign to him, but, you know, defensively, he's held his own. Not every play maybe has been perfect, but
well, that's not an easy position to play. But overall, I would agree with you. He's done a pretty darn good job.
Now the 2-1 from Tonkin. Outside he missed. 3 balls and a strike. Smash towards second base. Dozier's there, and the inning is over. Edwin Encarnacion lifts one to the seats and left. Boom, and the Indians extend their lead. It's up 7. And Nick Goody with a chance to close it out for Cleveland. Michael Martinez comes into the ball game now at third base. And Brandon Guyer will take over for Michael Brantley out in left field. And away we go as Nick Goody will face Byron Buxton, and then the top of the order for Minnesota. A bit outside, ball one. The count. Byron Buxton 0 for 3 on the night. 2 for his last 24. 4 out of 46 overall. Bullseye 2-1. Last night, Paul Molitor lamented the fact that the Twins left too many opportunities out there. They had bases loaded, albeit with 2 outs in the first, did not score. First 3 reached to open the second, and they managed only 1 run. And then when it was all said and done, they stranded 12 men on base.
Right.
Tonight, one of those illustrations in that it's not necessarily how many hits you get, but what kind and when you get them, because the Indians have out hit Minnesota just 12-11, but it's been way more lopsided than that would indicate.
Yeah, they've had some big hits, driving in a pair of runs, a 2-run triple by well, you had the Ramirez 2-run homer, the 2-run triple by Lindor, and then piling on would be the Encarnacion 2-run homer.
And Ramirez, the second baseman, grabs that. 1 down here in the ninth.
But it's a game I think the Indians offense needed. You know, just for their psyche, for their mentality, just to feel good. They all pretty much hit for 5 times through. You know, and everybody was a part of it. That's something they needed.
Eduardo Escobar going to pinch hit for Brian Dozier.
I know the forecast tomorrow doesn't look good, but I hope we can get the game in after the way they played the last 2 games. The last thing you do is you want to miss a day with an off day, you know, with rain.
Yeah, when you're on a roll, you don't want to stop.
No, you want to continue to keep playing. Absolutely. You never want that off day.
Trevor Bauer's turn to pitch.
Yeah, that's the matchup tomorrow.
But
Bauer.
To your point, the forecast does not look real promising. We'll see.
Most of the times we don't look at it, nor do we care, because a lot of times it changes by the time it gets here anyway.
Yeah.
So we're hoping. And then we'll close out the series on Thursday. It's a noon game here, 1 o'clock back home. Then we'll end our trek of facing the Central Division in Chicago Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Up and away, 3-1. Upstairs, he ends up walking him with One out here in the ninth. Chris Jimenez will pinch hit now. One-on-one out here in the ninth. Low and away as Jimenez watches it sail wide of the mark. Roberto going to go out for a quick chat. Up 7. Got to throw strikes.
Yeah, that's pretty much what he's telling them. Let's go. Get aggressive. Let's go. We need you to throw strikes.
High pop up, straight up on the field. On the infield, here comes Ramirez, now Lindor. And that's out number 2. Miguel Sano to the plate. They'll let the runner take off down to second base. Sano launched an opposite field homer in the 8th inning. Cuts and misses there. That was his 4th home run of the season. And a guy who you figure he's going to sit right there in the middle of that lineup. But, you know, it's interesting to see, do they keep him third? Do they want him in that 4 hole? A lot of it depends on what pieces you have in and around him.
If you can hit somebody behind him, the 4 hole might be the best suited for him as far as power goes. You know, with the construction of that lineup over there. And I think Paul Molitor's still searching. But you have to have protection behind him.
Yeah.
To get, you know, to protect him. If not, they'll pitch around him. He may walk 100 times.
You're right. He's looking for the right combination. He's had a bunch of different lineups already this year.
He would be the natural 4 hole hitter for this team from what we've seen so far. But with Paul Molitor, he's thinking, okay, let me hit him third. I'll hit. He tried Mauer behind him. Today he's got Kepler, so he may go with his hot hitter behind him. But they don't really have a natural 4 hitter other than this guy.
I mean, Mauer's already hit in 3 different spots in the lineup.
Oh, he's moved them all around.
The only guy who hasn't is Dozier. He's led off every game. 2-2. Swung out and missed, and that's the ball game. Nick Goody strikes him out, and the Indians cruise to an easy win, 11-4, the final tonight here at Target Field. Josh Tomlin will get the win. That's his first on the year. He's 1-2. Phil Hughes suffers his first loss, and he'll be 2-1. The Indians get back to 500 at 7-7 on the year. Minnesota falls to 500. They also 7-7 this season. Tribe has won the first 2 of this 4-game series. Weather permitting, Game 3 comes your way tomorrow night. The series finale Thursday, noon local time here in Minneapolis. Oh, this is just one of those, in final analysis, good overall team wins. A lot of people were involved in it. Tomlin was terrific. Offense, everybody seemed to chip in tonight.
I think it was a game the Indians team needed. Josh Tomlin needed a good start, and he settled in and did a very nice job. The Indians came out, they got on the board early and often. They scored in 5 of the first 6 innings. You had a couple of guys having some big nights, driving in a couple of big runs, with Ramirez and Lindor continuing their torrid pace. And Encarnacion hits a home run. He's got to feel good about himself. So overall, Matt, it was a great night for the whole team, I think.
So with the 7-run win, the Indians will look forward to tomorrow, and we'll be here to bring it to you. Until then, for Rick Manning and Andre Knott, I'm Matt Underwood. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Indians Live with Al and Jensen and Andre. It's coming up next.